Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chaitanya. Today we will discuss about 10 real-time Linux interview questions. So let's get into the content. So these are the 10 Linux interview questions. Let's discuss about one by one. So our first question is how to find files that ending with .txt extension in the current directory. So in case if you have a really hundreds of files in your directory and want to find these these type of extension files in your current directory, so this command will be helpful to you. So let's get into the practical work how it is works. So currently I'm at my Linux server test1 server. So press ls, we have some files in our root directory, so we want to sort it out the only .txt files. So write the command sudo dot represents the current directory, and type is file, and name is star.txt. In front of .txt I want to skip whatever the name it is mentioned, so it only prints the .txt files extension. So press enter. So these are the .txt file which is present in the root directory. So there is some folder called test folder. So in the test folder also we have some files, file2.txt, auto.txt, and file1.txt. So like this we can sort it out with any extension in the current directory. So let's move into next question. How to create a user with expiration date? So this is the scenario you do when a new joinee had come into a company and he works only for 2 months as a contract based. In that case, you can assign the user with only the 2 months of period for his account. Whether he still continue or release from your organization, you want to assign that 2 months of period for that user. So let's see how can we do this. So again came into my server, and I'm adding a user, sudo user add -e for expiration, and the expiration date is 2021 Jan month and the 20th date, and the username is Jack. So the user Jack is created from with the expiration date. So let's see whether the user Jack has expiration or not. So how to check expiration is sudo chh -l, username is Jack. So the user account expires in Jan 20 and 2021, and the number of days warning before password expires is 7 days. So like this we can create a user with an expiration. So in case if you forgotten to mention the expiration for the user Jack, you can mention after the user creation. So let's see how we can do this. So I will creating one more user, sudo user add money. So the money is a user which is created for test1 server. So I want to assign the expiration for the money user. So how we can do this? Sudo chh -c expiration date and the username money. So let's check whether the money has expiration date or not. So how to check? Sudo chh -l money. So account expires on Jan 2021. So let's move into next question. How to copy a file from one Linux server to other Linux server? So this is the very common scenario in every organization. Let's see how we can do this. The SCP stands for secure copy, and the file name you want to copy the file to other Linux server, and the other Linux server username at the rate of IP address and the destination directory. So let's check how we can do this in real time. So I am in the test1 server. I have some files in the root directory. So I want to copy the file process.sh to other Linux server. So how can I copy is sudo scp, file name is process.sh, and the username is root at the rate of the other Linux server IP address is 172. and the destination target directory is slash tmp. Enter. It is asking for root password for the another server, so I'm giving. So it's complete. Let's check into other server. So I am at the test2 server, so I'm switching to root user sudo -i. So let's check into slash tmp folder. So the process.sh is copied from test1 server to test2 server successfully. Now let's move on to next question. How to check which Linux flavor you are using in local. In real time, sometimes we can forget which Linux flavor we are using. So on that time we want to check which Linux flavor I am currently working on. So how it is possible means sudo cat os slash etc slash os release. So in this directory our Linux flavor information is kept in are available in this folder. So let's check in the practical. So currently I'm at a test1 server. I want to know which Linux flavor I'm using. So sudo cat etc os release. Currently I'm using Red Hat Enterprise Linux with the version number is 8.3. Not only this method, we can also identify which Linux flavor we are using hostname.ctl. So currently we are using Red Hat Enterprise Linux with 8.3 version. So this is the another way we can identify which Linux flavor we are using. So let's move into next question. What is the difference between slash etc password and slash etc shadow? In general, both slash etc password and slash etc shadow is can be available for the user information. So let's check. So in general, the slash etc slash password we generally store general user information, and in etc slash etc slash shadow we store some user password information. In etc slash password we store the user information like user id, group id, and user home directory which the user is working on their home directory like this. Wherein slash etc slash shadow we store some important information like encrypted form of password, password expiration. Like this we can store in the slash etc slash shadow file. So these are the differences between slash etc password and slash etc shadow files. So let's move into next question. How to create a user with a non-interactive shell in Linux server. So this is the scenario in which user creation is must, but he did not do anything in his shell like he don't want to run any commands on his user account. So in this case we can use with non-interactive shell. So let's check how we can create a user with a non-interactive shell. First of all, we have to create one user sudo user add sam. Next we have to go to sudo vi slash etc slash password. So we have to check our user sam. So sam is on the last, so we have to edit the file using editor via editor, and we have to replace with bin bash with false and save the file. Now try to switch to that user sam sudo su minus sam. So the last login failed. So user creation is must, but the user cannot do anything with his account. So so in this case we can do like this. So let's move into next question. The system admin team had noticed that they have some issues with the DNS resolution in application server. So we want to add some additional DNS name servers on this server. So we have decided to fix a Google public DNS as temporary use. So what is your approach on this? So in this type of scenario we can achieve like usually our DNS linked with our local DNS with the name server. So in our case we have to set with the Google DNS IP address with the name server. So how to check with the DNS name server and want to change with the existing name server of our local system to Google DNS name server. We can do this as sudo vi slash etc slash resolve.conf. In this folder we have the local we have our local DNS name server which is present in the test1 server. So we have to set the Google DNS name server in the place of our local DNS name server. So we have to put comment for this name server and add the Google DNS name server. So name server and the Google IP address is and save the file. So let's check how the Google DNS name server is working fine or not. So sudo curl minus l https. So we are watching that some HTML document like this. So if you get this type of HTML document, your Google DNS name server is working fine. If there is any error comes, there is some error in the Google DNS server, we have to fix it. So like this we can fix the Google DNS temporarily, and we have to fix the problem in the place of Google DNS. So let's move into next question. How to create a user without home directory. So in this scenario, user do not enter into home directory and run the commands he want. This is similar to our previous question, like a user create a user with a non-interactive shell. So how we can do this without creation of user without the home directory? Using sudo userad -m and username. So let's get into practical work how it is goes on. So I'm creating a user sudo userad -m stands for do not create a home directory, and the username is Paul. If you want to check the user Paul has home directory or not, like sudo su minus Paul. So last login failed, but the user is in Paul account. So we have to check pwd. Pwd is home directory of EC2 user because the user Paul has no user home directory, and you can check who am I. So the account of test user test1 server is using the Paul account. So like this we can create a user, but we don't want to assign the home directory for that user like this. So let's move into next question. How to find what are the empty files are present in .tmp/tmp/demo directory. So the command is, using this command we can find the empty files in the current directory. So let's get how it will be worked on the practical scenario. So I'm switching to my test1 server. So first check the /tmp and demo directory is there or not. So it's there, and we have to check is there any files in between demo directory. Yes, we have files in the demo directory, and we have to check empty files in the directory demo. So let's see how it will be works. Sudo find the directories /tmp and /demo, and we have to check with empty files, right? So minus empty, and the type is file. Enter. So abc and process.txt and linux.sh. So these three files are empty files. So remaining file1.sh and rdf.txt have some data in it. So like this we can check the empty files which are present in the some other directory. We can also find directories also in the place of files. We have to type d in place of f. So like this we can also check empty directories from the current directory. So let's move into next question. What are the run levels in Linux and how to change them? If you want to know about run levels, you should know about first init method. So init method is the process of all processes with the PID of 1. PID is nothing but process ID. So it is the first process to start when a computer boots up and runs until the system is shut down. The functions of init will start from the init tab. The run levels is the state of init where group of process to start at booting out the operating system. You can also make your own custom run levels by what process need to start after init process. So there are 7 run levels in the Linux. So let's check one by one. So we have standard run levels which is starting from 0. The run level 0 indicates the halt. Halt is nothing but the system will shut down or the power off. So when you choose the run level 0, it will be power off or shut down the system. So the next run level is 1. So this is the single user mode. This is the most used for maintenance of system, like you can do some type of troubleshooting on operating system, and it is like we can use as safe mode of the system. So the next run level is 2. The 2 indicates it is a very oftenly used multi-user mode, but it has no networking. It is like safe mode and only available for the command prompt. So the best example for this multi-user mode without NFS is the Debian systems. So the Debian systems will run on the standard run level 2. So the next run level is 3. So this is very popular run level which has multi-user mode and having with networking. We can do all the Linux things, but only defect is we don't have graphical user interface GUI. The best example for this run level is our normal Red Hat system or CentOS operating systems. It has only the text based format which is used for command prompt. So the next run level is 4. It represents the undefined. In this run level 4 we can customize our run level based on our requirement. So the next run level is 5, which is similar to run level 3. But only difference is here we have the graphical user interface. We can call it as the Linux desktop view. Most of our on-premise servers which have the graphical user interface. So it runs on the run level 5. So next run level is 6, which is used for the reboot the system. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you understand this interview questions. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.